And with that, I will pass it over to Reed to introduce the rest of the Fresh Bennies team.
All right. Well, we've got, that was Neil Kennish. And for those of you that don't know Neil, he's our Vice President of Sales. He lives in Houston. He's originally from Canada. He's a dad with 3 young, aggressive boys. And so he is a fantastic contact for any of your new sales. So if you get new group sales or products or strategy questions, he's fantastic for that. And the other lady with us here is Mandy Baker. She is an account executive with us. And she is here for any of your existing groups, whether it's renewals or you want some insight into options for plan changes, et cetera, and a product expert there. So that's who's with us today. They'll probably turn off their video and wave and pause right now, but know that they're here with us and here working for you. The 3 of us work together to bring together this information. We're going to give you an overview of our new large group product, the Advantage product line. Plus, we've got some insights from WellVia, our telehealth vendor, who we've been working with for about a year. So it'll be a great session today. You know, Fresh Bennies, we work in the healthcare space because healthcare shouldn't be a pain. But for the 30 years that I've been working in the American healthcare system, it has been a pain. Every single time you try to touch the system, you feel it. And what we did at Fresh Bennies for 11 years is we merged technology and healthcare into one platform to give you more control. And you'll see that as our tagline. We're practical tools to control your healthcare. We go and vet tools like advocacy services, telehealth services, savings networks. We roll them into a great member experience. So we've got this platform, as you see on the right-hand side, that is a great experience for the member. And then we prove the value in our utilization reports that are right in the dashboard for every employer and for you. One of the things that we've been hearing over the last year are well, a few of the things are some issues around some different needs. And post-COVID, we had a group, one specific group, they said, you know, we lost 1/3 of our workforce and we've had to strip out so much. And as much as we love the advocacy and the telehealth, what we are going to focus on right now, we have to make some tough choices. We just need the lowest price possible for a telehealth program. And the way our bundles were designed before, we didn't have exactly that kind of a bundle. And so they ended up leaving Fresh Bennies and going with a direct telehealth vendor because we didn't have the right option for them. And that was a shame. In a similar vein, a little bit different, but on the advocacy side, we had a broker who said, you know, our team's struggling with the extent and the complexity and the amount of consumerism questions that are coming our way. And we need advocacy for all of our clients. And we need to be able to get that as a very tight solution. And then also, you know, those of you who work on large groups specifically and customize a lot of plans would often hear something like this that says, we have a custom self-funded plan and we have telehealth that's rolled into our direct primary care. We just want advocacy, but we really do want it, but we just want advocacy. Or in a similar vein, we have a custom self-funded plan and our TPA does navigation and guiding people through the system. What we want is we just want a real strong telehealth program. And like I said, our consistent vision has been that we're practical tools to control your healthcare in one easy membership. And in the past, that's been with our premium package. At least that's our most recent generation. And our focus there was always maximum usage. So as we looked at this, we said, what's the place for more of a scaled down bundle? And when we looked at it, we're like, okay, there needs to be an alternative specifically for large groups that we're calling the Advantage products. And our goal there was minimum entry price. It wasn't to cut out the amount of tools or the member experience, but the idea was like during World War II, when the Navy needed to be able to sail an aircraft carrier from Midway Island as far as they could towards Japan and get an airplane then that could fly to Tokyo and back to be able to drop a bomb. And their planes were too heavy. And so they did everything that they could to strip out everything that wasn't necessary so that they could solve that issue. And so that was our approach here with our Advantage plans, was what are the things that we can strip out where we still have this consistent vision that the end product is a set of practical tools to control your healthcare in one easy membership? And Neil, will you run us through the product details?
Of course, absolutely. So what you're seeing here is our broker pricing chart for the new Advantage packages. And very similar to what we've done with the premium, we've given you multiple packages so that we can best tailor to what your large group clients' needs are. So we've got an Advantage telehealth package, which includes telehealth, behavioral telehealth, RX savings, and our tools. That's for groups that don't need an advocacy solution. Then we've got our Advantage advocacy solution that doesn't include telehealth. So you're getting our advocacy plus RX savings and the tools. And then for groups that want both telehealth as well as advocacy, we've got our Advantage total. Now, obviously there is a price differential. What's really important to know is that with the telehealth, so within Advantage telehealth and within the Advantage total, we've moved to a up to 20% usage level. So that's something that we'll talk about, kind of how we're going to manage that moving forward, because obviously some groups may go over that. So we'll talk about how we're going to scale the pricing, but it's really important for you to know that we've created a lot of flexibility within the Advantage products so that we can tailor a solution that best fits the needs of your large group clients. From a pricing perspective, what's important to know is that we've taken commissions out of each of the Advantage packages. That doesn't mean that you can't earn commissions. It just means it's entirely up to you how you would like commissions to be paid out. So if you want to put $1 in there, if you want to put $2 in there, if you want to leave it without any commission, totally up to you. We know that with a lot of the large groups, some of you are on consulting arrangements and you're trying to bring the most affordable solution to your clients to help enhance the sticky factor as far as keeping them your clients, right? And a solution like freshbenies certainly helps with that. So just know that the starting point does not include commissions, but you're certainly welcome to add whatever commissions you want. From a pricing perspective, what that means is that we've gotten way more aggressive on our rates. So you can see that Advantage telehealth starts at $450, the Advantage advocacy starts at $440, and the Advantage total starts at $650. All of those rates on the slide are per employee per month. And typically, like before, a freshbenies members includes the entire family, regardless of what their medical status is. So one membership includes the entire family. So you can see that our rates move down. If you've got those groups that are 1,000, 2,500 plus, even a 5,000 plus, we've really tried to get way more aggressive than we ever have in the past so that we can be relevant within this large group space. One thing that's really important to know, though, is that when we talk about the number of employees, we're talking about enrolled employees. So you may be servicing a group of, let's say, 900 employees, but if only 250 take Advantage telehealth, for example, they're going to be at that $200 to $499 rate, which is $450. So it's really important that you may have a larger group, but if only a portion of those employees are going to take one of the Advantage plans, A, they have to have a minimum of 200, but B, their rate is on the number of enrolled employees as opposed to the total employee population. If you go to the next slide here, Reed, just to quickly spin you through each of the benefit components. So telehealth has obviously been the lifeblood of freshbenies since we started. What's important to know about our telehealth is that it's 24/7, 365, and we do not charge a visit fee for any primary care visit. So that's something that we take a lot of pride in. It's always embedded within the monthly PEPM. Relatively new within the past year is our behavioral telehealth benefit. So this provides convenient and discreet access to both therapists and psychiatrists at a fraction of the cost of a typical in-person visit fee. So on the therapist side, it's $85 per visit. Psychiatrists are $95 with the exception of the first psychiatrist visit, which is $225. What's really nice is that rolling out our Advantage plans, we were able to include an employer-paid option with a $0 visit fee available for the member. So Reed will talk to you exactly how that works, but we're really excited that we were able to roll that out. And one other nice benefit about our behavioral telehealth is that we're able to include a more enhanced network. So typically behavioral telehealth therapists are not particularly available. We've shared stats in previous webinars about the lack of access, the difficulty of getting an appointment. With us, you're now offering up a virtual network of therapists and psychiatrists that really expands the ability for your clients and their employees to get the behavioral health needs that they so desperately might be in need of. Another nice thing about behavioral telehealth is that these visits are 45 minutes in length. and the member can request to see the same therapist or psychiatrist for all their subsequent visits. So they get that level of consistency that's really important to them. Moving forward to advocacy, this is something that we've really expanded and enhanced our services. And there is a huge breadth of what we're able to provide from an advocacy perspective, whether it's providing expert healthcare support, finding highly rated doctors, comparing costs, reviewing and renegotiating medical bills. I would be more than happy to spend time with you, your team, to really walk you through our advocacy solution, because I've yet to come across a client that has put something on our desk that we haven't been able to help them resolve, whether it's getting them to find lower cost, more high quality doctors. We have a wealth of solutions here that can really help. We just have a limited amount of time here, but otherwise we would go much more in depth on advocacy. And then the last piece from a benefit perspective is our prescription savings. And this provides a price transparency tool for both local and mail order pharmacies, saving on average of between 79% on generic and 34% on brand name prescriptions. For those of you that are familiar with GoodRx, very, very similar to that solution, but with us, you're getting an additional solution that you're able to bring in so that your clients can save even more on their prescriptions. And then lastly, I mentioned earlier the tools. So to give you an idea of what's included in this set, first of all, we have our Benny wallet, which provides the ability to store and access ID cards. They don't have to be healthcare related. They could be any ID card. But then you're also getting our turnkey member engagement system, which kicks off with virtual member packets. We do monthly email campaigns. We do targeted social outreach. We've got our app, our portal, and then every single group at Fresh Bennies has access to their own utilization dashboard. So if your clients are asking, are my employees using this? Are we getting any savings? It's readily available on a group by group basis within our portals. So just to summarize, the Advantage packages are the 3 columns you see on the left-hand side of the page. So you've got those 3 that I walked through with all the pricing. To reorient you to compare to what we had previously with our premium packages, we've structured it the same way. So you can see premium telehealth, premium advocacy, premium total. As I mentioned earlier, the big difference between Advantage and premium total on the telehealth side is that Advantage starts off with up to 20% usage included, whereas the premium packages have unlimited telehealth. And then the premium packages also have dental and vision savings and commission included, right? So those are the big differences, but you can see that the rates are dramatically lower for the Advantage packages than what we were doing with the premium packages. Even if you were to net out commissions, there's still a big price differential, particularly as you move into that larger group space. And with that said, Reed, I will pass it back to you.
You bet. And this is on a actual pricing chart. And this is the crux of that. At the bottom of it, you'll see there's some nuances. We want to make it very workable for you so that you didn't have to check in with us all the time to see what every price might end up being. But let's walk through some of those pricing nuances that are at the bottom. The first one that everybody asks about is, okay, so what happens when that group goes above 20% utilization? And hey, why do we even set it at 20? Because that's what the market standard is. Most telehealth programs with some zero visit fee max at 20. And just like this, for every 5% above that, it increases at 25 cents. So it doesn't start that way in the beginning. We give you a 12-month rate guarantee. And then after that 12 months, we do quarterly changes as appropriate. So let's put it in an example to put it in context. So let's say you've got a group that's 1,000, or let's say 1,001, because that's the pricing category we're in here. 1,000 life group, and they come in, and what they wanted was the advocacy telehealth, and they just wanted base telehealth program, $3 per employee per month. Now, first of all, let's just pause for a sec. That is a freaking awesome price. I don't know if you quite have that in context of the market, but that's a fantastic price. There's a leading telehealth vendor out there who just provides telehealth at zero visit fee, and it's more expensive than this. It does not include behavioral telehealth options, our RX, or our tools. So that's a great price. So the group would have gotten that for a 12-month period of time. And then let's say at the end of 12 months, what they find is that there's actually 22% usage. So in that case, we're above that threshold, but not above the 25% threshold. So the rate goes up to $325. Let's say they continue, and 18 months in, they get above that 25% threshold. So the rate goes up to $350, and maybe 6 months later, it backs down to the 24%, and they'll come back down to $325. And this was the most equitable way that we could come up with on how to have a group not overpay for services, but pay appropriately for those that are available. And then some of you who sell business with us today, and you're like, I've got this group that's actually in this category of a couple hundred plus. I wonder if it might be a good group to consider moving over. And how would that work? Well, if it's an existing group with us, it's really a warm transfer. We keep the group number, the member numbers. The members get to keep their login to their app and portal. And so what we do is when we move them over to this group, we would start them at the rate based upon their current telehealth usage. So it just ends up being a smooth transition over. And you can call Mandy or us, and we'll be happy to chat you through that. Some of the other nuances that are listed on the bottom of your pricing chart. One, as Neil mentioned, commissions can be adjusted as desired. And that's true on the Advantage package. It's also true on the Premium package. If you want to do it over there and you want to strip those out or you want to raise them a little bit, go for it. Second thing, on the Advantage, we recommend these days virtual welcome packets. And there's no additional cost if you do that. Virtual means they're emailed. So if you've got a group, though, who doesn't have emails, or for some reason you specifically still want physical welcome packets, we can do it. It's an additional 10 cents per employee per month is the way that we price out for that. So that's a very fair way to handle that. And then we work with a ton of different Ben admin systems. We take file feeds from dozens of them, and we're happy to set one up with you. There are a few of those that may require a small PEPM fee. And if so, it'll be added to the cost. But if you have any question on that, check in with Mandy or Neil as you're getting some groups set up or transferred over. And we'll let you know if it's one of the ones that requires that. And then the last thing that I want to touch on is what Neil mentioned about behavioral telehealth. Like you said, behavioral telehealth is just built in as one of the options and the member pays the fees. What we're hearing from the market is there's a lot of requests to say, how much would it cost, or what is there an option where the employer pays a little bit more so that the member doesn't have to pay a visit fee so that we can increase the usage on behavioral telehealth? And we handled that differently than others. So what we do is we charge the group an additional 10 cents per employee per month if you want to flip the switch and turn that option on. And then what we do is, instead of turning it into a PEPM model, what we do is we just submit a second bill to the employer each month for the actual visit fees that actually occur. So effectively, they're just paying the claims that come through. The reason that we came up with this idea, nobody else in the space is doing this right now, but the reason we did is when we look at what the competition is doing, they're adding another $5 or $7 per employee per month for behavioral telehealth usage that, while it's growing, is still just a fraction of what the primary care telehealth usage is. There's no way it justifies your client paying that. And so you're going to have upset clients a year or two from now. And so this was our alternative for that. And I think as you look into it, you'll realize that that's a fantastic approach. Add-on options, yeah, you still have the option here if you want to voluntarily offer the pet pack or the security pack. These are our two main add-ons that we've had for the last year, and they are flying off the shelves. The pet pack includes 0 visit fee, vet telehealth, and pet savings. What we see is over 1/3 of the people who are offered that buy that. And it earns you $3 commissions each and every month. Now, on the security pack, it's ID theft and legal savings at $12.99. Let me tell you, compared to the marketplace, that is an awesome price. And $3 commission on that as well. And what it's doing is we wanted to provide this platform that allows you to, keep those other vendors and those other brokers from coming into your groups and offering these things, and instead to be able to deliver it all in one platform and keep it simple. So that's what this is about. And this is the flyer that you either received or you will receive along with the pricing chart. This is the flyer for the Advantage products, and it summarizes the story here. There's nothing here that's incorrect if you happen to also show this to a group that ends up on one of our premium packages. There's just a few of the items like the dental and vision that Neil mentioned that aren't listed here. But one of the things I specifically want to call out is on the front page here at the bottom, we really reference our benefits. And we often talk about how our services help you control your dime, your time, and your peace of mind. It's the benefits of our platform and freshbenies and how our approach works. If you should study that for sure if you aren't completely familiar with working with us. And we're not going to go through all of that here, but if you need a little bit more guidance on being able to position us compared to what another broker is calling a group about, then by all means, reach out to us and we'll help you with that. I wanted to take some time here and talk about our partnership with WellVia. We've been with them about a year. Everybody I talked to in the last year, it's one of the main questions. How's the partnership? How's it working? How's the member experience? And so I wanted to do this a little bit differently. We recorded an interview with some of the executives from WellVia recently, and I pulled a few clips from this just to give you a taste of that. We'll get you a copy of the full video as well. But we give you the chance to hear from Dr. Catherine Sauerwein. She's their Chief Medical Officer, Mark Woolery, who's their COO, and John O'Toole, who's their Vice President of Sales. And the various executives at WellVia come with this rich background where some of them worked at Teladoc, some of them worked in benefits, banking, IT. And when we were looking at partners who we might use in this space, we wanted a company, one of the things that was just dramatic was we wanted a smooth onboarding experience, and we knew it could be better, and they delivered. You don't require a long health profile before that first visit, right?
Sure, no, absolutely. In order to get on WellVia, we need basic information, your allergies, your medication, but we don't need an extensive medical history. If there's anything important the physician needs to know for that particular issue, they can ask.
And the way you can judge somebody's experience is how they handle a challenge. And last year was a challenge.
When coronavirus hit March of last year, our numbers went up quite quickly. A lot of scared people, a lot of anxious individuals. And so we have the provider team, we have the network, we rallied our troops. I'm a very hands-on chief medical officer, so I started taking more consults as needed. All of our physicians did. And we were able to meet the demands without a problem. We also had a lot of recruitment. So many physicians wanted to get into telemedicine at that time. So we recruited the ones that we wanted, and we also had a wait list for ones that we didn't need quite yet for different states that we were full in.
So they came out even better than before. The number one question we've gotten from those of you who work with us is, if a group moves from freshbenies with Teladoc and they happen to move over to freshbenies with WellVia, that's like the greatest judge of how that service is. Mandy got a text on a Sunday morning from one of her brokers about this.
A text from our broker, and she has one of my largest clients, and they transitioned to WellVia from Teladoc in January. And they were really, really nervous. They loved Teladoc. They love freshbenies. In fact, the HR director brought freshbenies into her new company every time she's changed. So they're fans. And so when we originally presented this to them, because they were looking to save some cost this year, I was like, okay, I don't really know if this is going to be a good option for you. I just want to be clear. Like, you guys love where you are. You're super happy. And she said, no, I think we want to do it. She said, as long as it's a good process and you guys make it smooth for us, I think it's going to be great. And so I got a text on a Sunday morning from the broker that said, good morning, Andy. She said, I just want to give you this feedback about WellVia. She said, the app is awesome. It's so easy to use. 6 minutes from opening the app to getting a prescription and antibiotics sent to the pharmacy. And they sent her a coupon. And she said, 5-star service. I love it. And I was like, that is the best.
That's our best judge. And I mentioned the experience that the deep experience that the executives have. Here's Mark.
My background before, I've been at WellVia in my position for about 3 years now, a little over 3 years. Prior to that, owned and operated my own supplemental TPA. We served about 500,000 lives on our platform. And so I'd like to think, and I'm hopeful that our partners share the sentiment that I understand the broker's needs, and therefore the team understands the broker's needs as to, flexibility, whether it be plan design, whether it be service offerings,
And by service offerings, he means things like that. When we went to them and said, here's a way we'd like to approach behavioral telehealth and just bill the employer and save the expense. I know it wasn't something that you had done before. It was unique for us. But Mark, why did you say yes to that?
Yeah, because we want to be a good partner. When you look at partnerships, partnerships are really in my book about two things: fair terms. So it has to be fair on both sides of the fence, but more importantly, open communication. both from whether it be a freshbenies standpoint and the needs that you have, and from a WellVia standpoint of what we see in the marketplace of doing this work day in and day out, and what's viable and what's not viable.
And they specifically have said they don't look at the per member per month behavioral telehealth model as viable. Like no group's going to be happy paying $5 or $7 or even $3 extra per month for that. So the way that we've approached all of our conversations with them, we've wanted to be more nimble and innovative. And so that's what we looked for in a partnership with them.
Having that direct phone line to each other to have a conversation, through Mark's leadership, it's always been, well, let's not say no, let's have a conversation around it first and see how we can evolve this partnership and grow and make it stronger. One, we want you guys to win more business because it helps us and it helps the partnership. So through that leadership, we've been able to kind of, I wouldn't say pivot, but just tailor something, based on the market needs that you guys see.
And that tailoring, our idea is always to be nimble in the marketplace. And so we love when you give us input on what's needed going forward. And I think what you're seeing out of this is that we continue to innovate for you year after year on finding the right solutions for your clients. And I hope that's the way you see this here. Now, what we've done is we've expanded the number of our offerings. So for your second takeaway, I'd say call us, talk to Neil, talk to Mandy or any of us to strategize, okay, which is the right one for the group that I have right here? Which solution should I go for? And what's the price in that right pricing going to be? And then if you want in print what that pricing is going to be, request a personalized proposal from us. Tell us what commission you want or don't want in there, any of the other options, and we'll write that up for you. Or probably in this space, it's a little more likely that you might say, well, I'm actually filling out an RFP. And if so, what I'd ask is don't fill out that RFP on your own guessing at answers. Just send us the questions and let us do it. Neil is fantastic at paperwork, right, Neil?
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, how's that for a rollout, Neil? We got some questions that we can address before we go?
We do have some questions. So first one from Jesus, he asked, for the telehealth service, can the PCP order labs, referrals, and such? We've seen during COVID that members really like the option of not having to go for an in-person visit. Some telehealth companies can provide that service for common conditions and chronic care management. I believe Teladoc does not, but others do. So I was wondering about WellVia. I believe they do, but wanted to check. Thanks.
So first of all, labs are not something that WellVia does. The definition of the kinds of visits, we're not trying to replace a family physician. That's their focus, and that's Teladoc's focus. We're not trying to replace that family physician and build an entire program so they can order prescriptions and give guidance, but not labs.
Next question was, are there voluntary options available for the Advantage packages?
Oh, take that one.
Sure. So we recommend for voluntary packages that you go with our premium packages. So premium telehealth, premium advocacy, or premium total. And I can let you know for premium total, I'll let you know what the rate is, which is $14.99. So it's significantly higher. The big thing to know about our voluntary option is as long as the group pays at least 50% of the cost, we can still do it as employer paid. So all you need to do is get these large groups to take on, a couple bucks, and you're there to that 50% of the cost. Another question was just about the behavioral fee. So I'm trying to understand exactly how that differs. So the question was, if there was a 1,000 life group where, let's say there was a $5 PEPM, they'd be paying an additional $5,000 per month for unlimited usage. Whereas with you're effectively saying for an additional 10 cents, you'll be able to direct bill the employer the visit fee of whatever, $85 or $95. And they were trying to understand the math of that. So just to quickly explain, a 1,000 life group at an additional $5 PPM for unlimited behavioral telehealth visits costs $5,000 a month. With us, if you think about it, $85 or $95 visit fee, well, that's an average of $90, right? If you take that same group of 1,000 at a $90 per visit fee, they would literally be able to have 55 visits for the same price that they're paying for that additional $5 PEPM fee.
Per month.
Per month, correct.
And so until we see the usage levels even come close to that on behavioral telehealth, and they might in some groups, but as an average, they're not hitting that number these days. So that's why
nowhere near.
And
exactly. And then
Oh,
And sorry, just one other question, which was how long it takes to install a group. And happy to take that one. So it takes us roughly 7 to 10 business days once we've got the completed list bill and the enrollment information, whether it's through our streamlined census or through one of the Ben admin systems that we work with. But we are amazingly quick at getting new groups installed and ready to go. So if you're ready to move forward, we are ready to start taking groups. One of the nice things about the launch of this product is that we've already had thousands and thousands of new members that have joined one of our new Advantage packages. So it's been a great launch, and we would love the opportunity to service your large group clients.
awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Really appreciate
Have a
it.
great year.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.